I would lean towards the Cardinals with the points here, but I'm staying away from a side totally here. Just going to take the under of 37.5. This total is way too inflated, in my opinion. When you look at the quarterbacks of the Cardinals, we're going to get Clayton Tune and David Blau. Neither of those guys, I think, is going to be able to generate a ton of points here. It's a brand new system in Arizona. And the offense, the starting offense, isn't going to score a lot of points. So you shouldn't expect a lot out of the backups here. I think Arizona is going to play some starters on defense, again, to get used to the new system. They don't have that bad of a secondary when it comes to their backup guys. They have a few reliable players back there that should make some plays, including Antonio Hamilton Sr., Juju Hughes, Javonte Moffett, and then Isaiah Simpson. Denver could have some trouble moving the football in this spot. I'm not going to lie there. And it's going to be tough for them, too, because they are putting in that new system as well. So when I look at new coaches, I'm also hesitant there. I think there's a lot of motivation and players want to come out and play well for them. But at the same time, too, these guys are only a couple weeks in the training camp and they got to learn a whole new offense. So it's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world. When you look at Denver, Jarrett Stidham or Ben DiNucci will be playing quarterback throughout the night. Nothing really special about these two. And when you look at their playmakers, they're not going to have a lot. The Denver Broncos are loaded with their ones, but their twos just aren't necessarily up to par with those guys, and I don't think it's going to result in a lot of points. The backup offensive line is not that good. The Broncos sold their soul for a really good starting offensive line, but this team's very top-heavy, and I just don't see the backups doing a lot, especially in week one. I think there's a lot of unknowns in this game on both sides, and that's why I'm leaning under on this high total of 37.5. Yeah, I love the lines plus the points here. This is a great bet, in my opinion. When you look at the Giants, the only reason they're really favored, I think, in this spot is because Tyrod Taylor is their backup, very reputable backup. But because he's reputable, it probably means he's not going to be on the field that much. He has plenty of experience. He doesn't need to play in the preseason. We saw it tonight with Case Keenum for the Texans. He really didn't need to be on the field, but when he was, he absolutely dominated. I just don't think the Giants are going to take that approach with Tyrod Taylor because they need him to be healthy. So when I look at this game, it's probably going to be Tommy DeVito going for the New York Giants. He's going to get the majority of reps, played quarterback at Illinois. He went undrafted this year, and they didn't ask him to do a lot at Illinois. He wasn't asked to throw the ball all over the field, and I don't think his experience in college is going to help lead to a lot of points in this preseason opener, especially when he's got the jitters going. The Lions just signed Teddy Bridgewater as their backup. He isn't expected to play, but the one thing that Bridgewater is going to do in this spot is put a little pressure on Nate Sudfeld, the quarterback who should be on the field the majority of the time tonight or tomorrow night for the Detroit Lions. Put a little pressure on him because those two are going to battle for that backup spot. He performed really well last preseason. He was very efficient. He went 26 of 38 passing the football. And I think we're going to see him come out and do that tomorrow night. Detroit is at home as well. There's a lot of hype around this team. I think they're going to lean to that strong run game. And they do have a lot of running backs there that can hammer the football. So going to take the points here for the home team, the Detroit Lions, because I just don't see Tyrod Taylor being on the field that long. Yeah, I could see Kenny Pickett playing in this spot. But again, when I look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have a lot more uncertainty at quarterback. And that's great for me as a bettor. Is it going to be Baker Mayfield? Is it going to be Kyle Trask? We're going to find that out, and I think we're going to find a lot out in this first game. I think the Buccaneers are going to leave those guys out there. I believe they'll be out there with the starting offensive line for some of the night, or at least pieces of that starting offensive line, including Cody Mauch. He was their second-round pick. He's their starting guard right now. He's sensational. Very excited to see him play in this spot. When I look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, their backup quarterback situation, it's between Mitch Trubisky right now, and then after Mitch Trubisky, it'll be Mason Rudolph. Those two are battling for the number 2 job. I just don't see that position battle as important as the Buccaneers' starting job. So I think Tampa Bay is going to be more willing to leave their starters out there early and figure out who's going to be their quarterback of the future, or at least for this season. And that's going to result in some points on the board. So again, leaning towards the home team with the points here. I'll take the field goal all day long. I agree with it. I'm going to lay the points here with the Browns. The preseason is very vanilla. We don't see a lot of blitzing, especially in week one. And the coaches are just trying to evaluate their talent and figure out what they have. And the Browns have a massive advantage over the Commanders in this spot because, one, they've played already, and two, they know that their quarterback in Dorian Thompson-Robinson is going to cause a lot of trouble for his opponent. He had over 100 yards of total offense in the Hall of Fame game. We're going to see a hefty dose of DTR in this game, and then Cleveland's defense was also really good in the opener, especially against the run. The Commanders are set up by the run game. If Sam Howell is under center, they're going to try to set him up by running the football. I just don't think they're going to have a lot of success. And then when you go beyond Sam Howell, this team's just not that good at quarterback. I don't think they're that good with Sam Howell. And then when you look at the Browns too, they're also going to play Deshaun Watson. Not that it matters a lot. He's probably only going to get a couple drives on the field, but that's something to note. If he goes in the game and then they go right to DTR, I think they're going to have a lot of success. And that's why I'm going to lay the points here, lay the field goal and see what they can do.